in the High Q Components Formula First after a fantastic performance by the man who's on pole position, number 48, Liam Foster. A great performance, wasn't it, Geordie Peters?
Yeah, it was a fantastic drive by Liam there. Absolutely dominated the race. No one had anything for him, and he took his maiden win in an awesome way.
Number 28 in the front row of the grid alongside him is Chris Simon. Then Brody McConkey started on pole yesterday but couldn't convert that into a win. Callum Crawley, Caleb Natar, two of the championship contenders. Conrad Clark had a bit of bad luck with the Sabre, the car there. What happened there?
They broke a head stud bolt on the engine there, so unfortunately that ruled him out for the race.
Amy Smith, Taylor Hurst, Reese Hendel-Cox, Billy Fraser in the wars yesterday with Blake Evans, the 13-year-old, and of course ready to go racing. The red lights are on. Good clean start. Everyone away. Bit of wheel spin by 48 Liam Foster. Chris Simon going across almost wheel to wheel as they go down the straight into turn one. But they're clean and tidy. The swarm of the Formula Firsts. These 1200 VW motors. And down into two. All giving each other a bit of space, bit of room. McConkey into third. Simon slips back into fourth. Then I think Conrad Clark got off to a pretty good start. Oh, one of them just nailing up Crawley, I think, perhaps just making a move as they go around the infield.
Yeah, there was a great start there, and it looks like Conrad Clark and Brody McConkey may have just had a moment there. They're both really slow out of the corner there. And already Chris Simon and Liam Foster have got a little bit of a gap over the field. Callum Crawley and Caleb Natar are very close to those last two corners, and they're the championship contenders, those two. 27 points between them.
Big race here between McConkey, 23. He's under pressure at the moment from Caleb Natar and, as you say, Callum Crawley. But Conrad Clark's made a really good start to this one, bursting up into third spot.
Yeah, it's great for Conrad. After yesterday's issues, I'm sure he'll be very, very pleased to slot in third now, and he'll be making his charge to try and catch those front two to get the draft down to the back straight there.
Deep and late under brakes as they swarm into turn 11 now, the exit, and then you have this Formula First freight train down the inside line to break the effects of the drafting, but have that inside line into the braking zone going into the chase. Simon now pulls out for the draft. Conrad tries to get to the draft as well. They're going to go late and hard around the outside, take advantage of that slipstreaming. Simon gets up into the lead.
And it's typically Chris Simon there at Taupo. The amount of times he's done that, you know, if I had $1 for it, I'd be a millionaire. He's just the benchmark through that corner and around this track.
So he's grabbed the lead, which is to be expected, as there'll be plenty of changes in this very exciting formula with the slipstreaming and the drafting. Light power to weight ratio. Great way to learn as a lot of the drivers get out of karts. A lot of college kids at the moment, like number 15, Caleb Natar, back to school at Rangitikei College for a day and then back down to the track here. One of them running a bit wide.
Yeah, it's the natural stepping stone out of karts for all of our young stars, with our championship leaders, Caleb Natar and Callum Crawley. They're both still in their final years of high school now, and stepped out of karts straight into this, learning the ropes before they go on and hopefully have a prosperous motorsport career internationally.
Then you look at the likes of Callum Hedge and Liam Lawson, who've gone to the next level up to the Formula 1600 class. So these forms of motorsport certainly doing their job of breeding the young drivers, the young stars and the cars of the future. And it's the primary school teacher though, the 27-year-old from Lytton Primary School, Chris Simon, number 28, showing the way in that brightly coloured, it's almost like one of the high-vis safety sort of cars, doesn't it?
You certainly can't miss him on track. The car looks, the design's pretty immaculate. He's well known for making sure his car is definitely visible on track. And I also note Conrad Clark's nose cone there. He's obviously gone very close with those front twos.
Now this is the effects of the draft, and he got past last time, but now Liam Foster returns the move that the man from room 3 at Lytton Primary School did on him in the previous lap. So he pulls out the slipstream, he gets the pass, he makes the pass. Good neat time. And we'll have a look at number 11. That's Conrad Clark. Has he lost a nose cone?
It's still on there. It's just
looking wonky.
A little bit tweaked there, but it's still holding on there. It looks like all the clips are still on, so that's all good.
So he's got a sore nose.
Yes.
Not quite a blood nose at the moment, but it's not the best. He's been in a scrum, slightly tweaked.
Yeah, it's just a result of the close racing. It looked like there might have been a touch of the chase there on that opening lap.
So lap times 150.2. Yes, yes. Which way is it pointing? Right, so it'll favour if he has to turn right. Look at that. He looks like a hooker, a rugby hooker with an old busted nose after 10 years of rucks and walls, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, it might provide him with a bit of aerodynamic advantage around day one there in those right angles.
So Liam Foster, 150.2. Chris Simon now back in second, 151.1. Conrad Clark, how's he going with that nose? He's still doing a 150.7, so has really slowed him down. McConkey holding on to it, sliding late under brakes, forcing number 5. Reese Handel-Cox out wide, he then ducks down the inside as he regathers control as McConkey loses control.
Yeah, and I just look, Caleb Nato is the fastest man out on track at the moment. He's jumped off that top 3 group. It's right up there now, going for the lead. And Brody's slowed down by the looks of it, down the back straight. Quite a lot.
So Liam Foster holding on to the lead from Chris Simon. Conrad Clark still hanging in there in third. Caleb Nato has made the move, and yes, problem there for 23, Brody McConkey.
His right rear wheel seems to have collapsed to something on there. See if we can get a better shot of it.
So hopefully he'll limp back in towards the pits as they swarm back around. 5 laps to go. Foster picked up his maiden win yesterday. Can he make it 2 out of 2? Simon, he's won here before, had a bit of a DNF before Christmas. Had a win in a second. There's the wonky nose of number 11, Conrad Clark, the 15-year-old from Taupo. He's had all the wars this weekend, isn't he? He had the motor drama yesterday. Now it's the nose cone today, but he's still up there in the top 3.
Yeah, he's still soldiering on. It's all about learning the highs and lows of motorsport, and he's certainly getting dealt that this weekend.
And Caleb Nato, the man who leads the championship, the young college kid out of Martin, still nice and consistent in the top 4, isn't he? And staying in front of Callum Crawley from Fielding, who's his nearest challenger. The gap between those two is 27 points, and there's another 27 points back to Liam Foster. So by Foster, if he can get back-to-back wins here, he's going to close up in that chase for the championship. It's going to be really good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Caleb's goal is certainly just to try and finish in front of Callum, but now that Liam Foster's out in front and winning races, he needs to start getting back to the front of the field again, standing on the top step of that podium.
Right, here we go, the slipstreaming and the drafting. Chris Simon, he gets up behind. Now he's going to do the pull out as Nato tries to pull in. Chris Simon's gone high and wide around the chase. Good driving. Late and hard, smooth under brakes. As Nato does the move on Conrad Clark. So that's a great display of how you do your passing moves here on this track in this particular class. 4 laps to go. 1:49.2. Chris Simon, he's done the fastest out there at the moment, regained the lead, but he's also lost the exit speed coming out of 1, and suddenly Foster is right back on his tail again.
Yeah, Liam Foster was lethal here yesterday, and he's still got that pace again today. Chris Simon seems to have found something he's able to contest this morning, but we've got a 6-car fight emerging. I think this will make for a very good few laps of racing.
Chris Simon and the Simon, and then you've got Caleb Nato and the FVLV, and then you've got the likes of the other guys racing, like at the moment with Liam Foster. He's got the FF. So really putting a good challenge down tight as they sweep around turn 9. Exit speed, getting that drive out of that corner. See them all just charging up through 10. Now let's take a look at the lines here as they go into that big southern loop. There's Foster all going nice and deep, and look at that, really deep and late. Now they're going to tighten up on the apex.
They're running quite high there this weekend, in comparison to what they normally have.
This is an example of what you can do if you take the low line and run down the inside line and really go tight and hard on the apex and make the pass. So here they go back down towards the chase. Simon He's been passed by Liam Foster now, so once again, I'll keep chopping and changing all the way down to the checkered flags.
Billy Fraser's also moved up into that top 6 group, so they've done a lot of development over the break, and he's now fighting in that lead group. He's up into 5th, I think, so they'll be very happy in the Fraser camp.
So it's still Foster, 149.7, 149.7 by Natar, 149.8 by Conrad Clark, 149.1 Billy Fraser. He really has some speed coming on, moving up into the top 5.
Yeah, it definitely does. He's showed lots of potential over the years, but he's had a few engine dramas, a few mechanical dramas. He's been involved in a few unfortunate incidents on track, but it looks like he's finally getting a bit of a clean run after a disappointing qualifying session where he was involved in, he had a mechanical failure. But he's getting a decent run now. He's up into the top 5. I'm sure they'll be very, very happy with that. It looks like he's got the pace to move forward and go for a podium.
So a fantastic example of close, exciting racing in the high Q components. Formula First Championship. Now Conrad Clark is right up behind Caleb Natar. Taking that really high line, the deep late under braking, going into turn 11. Now the inside drag line. And I think Liam Foster's he's broken the slipstream here of Simon, who's going to come under the clutches of Natar.
Yeah, Simon will have to start looking into his rear vision mirrors now, because Liam's definitely pulled a bit of an air gap on him, and Caleb's right there, ready to pounce.
Conrad Clark. Tolpo, although now he's coming under pressure from Billy Fraser. 14, Fraser having a really good look down into turn 1. Can he hold the line and force Clark out wide? Yes, he does. Gets that speed. Really has turned that 149.6. Hendel Cox 149.7. So I wonder if that nose cone is just starting to slow number 11 down now. Just the benefits of not having the proper aerodynamics.
Yeah, he'll be a bit more of a draft, a bit more of an air hole. Oh, Billy Fraser, that's a huge lock-up at turn 5 off the track. And that's really unfortunate for him. Undone all that good work. They'll be gutted there. There was a close miss there by Amy Smith.
So just when you think you're hot and on the pace, one little mistake and everything chops and changes again. But Liam Foster, he's cleared out in front. He's broken the slipstream of Simon. As 14, Billy Fraser gets back onto the track and regathers himself after his moment. Amy Smith coming through. And there's your leader, Foster, Simon, Natar, Conrad Clark, just struggling now with that car. And Reese Hendel Cox from Edgecombe is going to be lighting him up and then making the move, and something's gone a bit wide there.
Chris Simon has dropped back into 3rd. It's quite gutted for Chris. It looks like he might even fall into the grasp of Conrad Clark. Yep, here we go.
I wonder if he's got an issue here, because he seems to be going backwards at the moment. And Conrad Clark, and also now Reese Hendel Cox. So you got the young kid from Taupo, Edgecombe, the primary school teacher from Manfield. Yes, he's certainly going backwards here. So it's going to be the last lap now. As Liam Foster chasing back-to-back wins in the 48 car. 15, Caleb Natar, right where he needs to be to extend his lead in the Formula First Championship. And then Conrad Clark, he's just managed to hold on to 3rd spot despite that nose cone. Hendel Cox and Chris Simon behind him. Amy Smith, Callum Crawley going backwards at the moment. Billy Fraser in recovery mode.
It'll be interesting to see the effect of Conrad's nose cone down the back straight there. I would imagine he'd be punching an even bigger draft with the cars behind to get a slipstream going. But it's a little bit of an air gap starting in as Taylor Hurst runs wide at turn 3, giving up a couple of spots there to Bob Dillo and Blake Evans.
Yes, Chris Simon, his fastest lap was a 149.2. His last lap was 152.094. So unfortunately, he had the lead for a while. He was dicing really, really good with Liam Foster, but he's sort of going backwards at the moment. He's struggling for that car speed, so he's got a bit of an issue. Number 55, Amy Smith going really well. So it's Clark. Simon looking for the inside line. He's going to try and break it, slide, and he grabs a spot in front of Reese Hendel Cox, who was just doing the high and late braking zone. So that's good aggressive driving. He's picked up one spot back. Now it's the slipstream, and look at them following each other all the way down the straight.
Moving him around. He knows that he's going to be a bit of a sitting duck, leading that pair through.
Good driving by Chris Simon, even though he lost a bit of speed in the last lap. He's regained those 2 spots back onto the podium, but it's back-to-back wins for 48. Liam Foster, Caleb Natai coming home second. Chris Simon rounds out the top 3. Good passing, good racing, as we always get from the young drivers and even the old drivers. In fact, all the drivers in the High Q Components Formula First Championship. So 2 wins in a row now for Liam Foster. He will close up in second place in Callum Crawley in the championship, as Caleb Natai picking up that 2nd spot will increase his lead and his advantage over Callum Crawley. So your battle is now between Foster and Crawley for 2nd and 3rd in the championship. And that's going to go right down to our next race, which is going to come up later on this afternoon around about 2:25 this afternoon in the sunshine.
Yeah, and that win for Liam there's jumped him into 2nd in the championship. So Callum Crawley's dropped down to 3rd now. So that's it. Oh, Louis Ritchell way wide at the top there.
That's a bit of a replay of an incident. Number 24, just hanging on to it.
It looks like there might have been other cars involved there. I think it was the 41 of... Oh, here we go, another replay.
That was Billy Fraser. Just after all that good work, he made up those hard-charging passes and then just smoking it from turn 4, a bit wide and then into 5. There's a tangle further down the field as one of them gets forced out wide. Coming back onto the track between 2 and 3. Then going as they slide this great corner over that little wee bump into 4. So all the car craft you learn in the Formula V Championship.